Hey y'all, so welcome. I wanted to jump on today, this evening, and just go over a quick ritual for the full moon in Virgo this evening. Um, and when I was going through and deciding how much I wanted to share, I was like, "Ooh, this is getting quite long." So I really want to focus on just the ritual aspect of what you can do to let go of some things during the full moon. As you know, the full moon is the ideal time to do your release work, right? And so, one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, because I've been working with my insider community to do some heart healing work. And one of the things that trips a lot of us up in relationship is our inability to let things go, you know. And we think that we've healed just because, we might be over the person, or we decided to move on from a relationship and let it go. But until you do the actual release work, you're literally still carrying that energy to the next relationship with you. And so that's something that we've been talking about in our 7-day love rehab. And today is actually day 7. And it's the ideal time to be closing this up, because we want to close the loop on some of the energy that has been going out, so that we can create a safe container for ourselves. Okay. And one of the ways to do that is by doing rituals to release energy. And because it's Pisces season, we've also been talking about specifically like water rituals. So the one that I'm going to share with you today, it's a combination of fire and water. And so I'll go through it with you now. And it's just really like a couple of steps. It's not, that there's not a lot of steps involved, but it can be a heavy emotional lift. Because I know when I developed this tool, I developed it for me because I was working through transitioning a relationship. And just the first part in and of itself, where I had to think about like, what are my internal toxic thoughts and beliefs about this person or this relationship that I was leaving. And also thinking about like, how is this showing up, in my life? Like what happened, what was going on the inside in my mind? What were the thoughts that I was thinking about the relationship, and how did it show up and manifest externally? Because everything starts with the internal. If you believe in relationship that every person you get with is a cheater, for example, that's what's going to manifest in your reality, because you're constantly like feeding that energy, right? So whatever it is that you're thinking or believing, like, oh, this person is not over their ex, or like I said, they're a cheater, or they're not a good communicator, whatever it is that you're thinking, that's what is going to be drawn to you, and you'll start to see evidence of it in your external reality. So because it's Pisces season, this is a power, and the moon is full, so this is a time for release. But because it's Pisces season, we want to be leaning into the energy of water, because Pisces is a water sign, right? And Pisces also rules the subconscious. So any of the things that you may be thinking and feeling on a subconscious level, like, we want to get beneath like, what are the conscious thoughts, but you also want to dig in and understand like, well, what are the patterns or the themes that keep coming up continually in relationships? Those are going to be clues about what's happening on the subconscious level. Because if you keep getting in relationship and having the same issues with different people, that's a red flag for you to investigate. Like, okay, what is besides you being the common denominator, what do all of these people have in common? What are the similar issues that I had in the past that I'm currently still dealing with? Okay, so that's going to be a clue as to like what the subconscious program could be running. And then you want to dig a little bit deeper, like, okay, well, what are my thoughts related to these specific situations? What do I find myself thinking or saying to myself? What are the narratives that are running in every single relationship? That's how you get into the subconscious and feel into, okay, what's going on the inside that's causing these external manifestations that I don't like and that I don't want. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see where we're going to jump in and start. Let's start right here. Let's go to present, and then I'll flip the camera around so that you all can get a look at this tool to release those disempowering beliefs. Okay, give me 1 second. I know how to do this now. I learned how to flip the camera on a live about 2 days ago. So here we go. All right. Y'all can see that good. So this says that you will only manifest that which you feel safe in having. What does this mean? This means that if you have never known like what it is to have a relationship that is full of love and loyalty, safety, stability, you will have a difficult time sometimes manifesting that, because there is likely a program running in the background that has been preventing you or keeping you from that. And our subconscious mind, its whole job is to keep you safe in your habits, even if they're not serving you. Because at one point in life, you developed these subconscious programs as a protection, sort of as a survival mechanism, based on like the type of family you were born into, based on how you saw the people, the adults in your life interacting in relationship. That is what is the basis of our program. We get all of this from the ages we are 0 to 7. And if any of you all who are on the live now have children, drop a comment and let me know, how close do your kids be watching you? Like, anyone who has kids or has worked with kids or just been around kids know that children pick up everything. They pick up everything, even the very subtle things that you don't think that they are paying attention to. They absorb it all. And those children grow up to become adults like you and me, right? So whatever it is that you observed growing up becomes a part of your program, whether you want it to or not. This is how you become like a people pleaser or someone with no boundaries. If you grew up, being the peacemaker in the house, like, you carry those same habits in relationship, and you will seek them out in other people. Why? Not because it's just a toxic situation, but you will seek that out because the subconscious also, not only is the subconscious, does it store all of your memories and all of your programming, and it seeks to keep you safe, but it's also always trying to go back to its default setting. And our default setting as humans is love, is light, is connection. So the subconscious is always trying to get back to that baseline, right? And so when you get into a relationship and those habits that you picked up, that subconscious programming that you picked up from your families of origin, when those issues come up and surface themselves in your relationships, because people are mirrors, they're going to reflect back to us what's going on the inside. When that happens, it's because the subconscious is seeking to become whole again. It's seeking resolution, right? This is the reason why, people, the holidays are sometimes so triggering for people, because you're going back into a dynamic that is your same comfort and familiarity, and people are just easing back into their natural roles from their family, right? And it's triggering. It can be triggering because old stuff comes up sometimes. Like you may have the same argument over and over with your parents about different stuff, and they're going to react the same all kinds of ways because they're also in their program, right? And the subconscious doesn't make any distinction about like when is the actual good time to resolve this. It just knows that, okay, I'm in the comfort and familiarity of my family again. Let me act out in the same ways that I'm normally used to acting out. So the same goes, because it's the issue of safety. It's the issue of familiarity, right? That's the program. The same goes for manifesting. If you don't have the program to draw in and hold abundance, you could win the lottery. And if you don't have good thoughts and feelings about money, you will lose it all. You won't be able to hold on to your manifestations. The same with love relationships. Like sometimes you can be in a relationship with somebody who you just, despite your best efforts, can't work through your issues with. A lot of times it's a program that's running. And if you don't know that it's a program, you don't know what to work on. Okay? So that's the basis from which we're going to start. And I'm going to give you a tool that you can use to do some deep reflecting about what is in your subconscious mind and beliefs that is disempowering you. Because until you address these issues, you're going to be leaking energy that you would otherwise be able to use to power you and propel you towards that which you want to manifest. Okay? For WT to use. I'm not sure what that means. So can you explain? And yes, thank you for the comment. And if you have any questions along the way, please do leave them in the comments. Okay, so here we go. The first step you need to do is to reframe your old beliefs. All right? That's the first step. Try to get a little closer here so you can read this. Although I'm going to read it to you. Hold on. So, a part of reframing the beliefs, you have to understand what those beliefs are. You have to, and a lot of times, like, if you don't know, like, what you haven't done this deep subconscious work yet, like I said earlier, like, you can just reflect back on relationship is the example that I keep going to, because we, like I said, have been in this incubator of doing a love rehab within my insider community. And so what does subconscious mean? Okay, give me 1 second and I'll go into that. So the subconscious maybe that is a good place to start. So your subconscious, let's skip ahead. I'll show you. So there are two parts to your mind, your brain. You have your conscious mind and you have your subconscious mind. The conscious mind is responsible for 10% of the things that you do in life. It's the part of your mind that analyzes things, that thinks, that makes plans, and that stores your short-term memories. Okay? The subconscious mind, it runs your life because it's responsible for 90% of the way that you process. The things that you think and feel automatically. It stores all of your long-term memories. And on a spiritual level, the subconscious, because our DNA, because of epigenetics, holds memory, like we know that it does. This is research, that your DNA holds memory. Your subconscious mind has stored things from lifetimes ago that you can literally access through hypnotherapy. That's a different live, so we won't go too deep into that. But to answer your question, the subconscious is responsible for holding your emotions and your feelings, those known and unknown. It's responsible for your habits, relationship patterns, any addictions that you might have, your involuntary bodily functions like breathing and your heartbeat. It's responsible for, it's the seat of your creativity and all of the development that you will do in this life, your spiritual connection, and your intuition. So the subconscious holds a lot. And most of the time, we're not even aware of all the ways in which the subconscious is guiding us from day to day. And as I said at the beginning of the live, you get your subconscious programming from, in this life, when you were ages 0 to 7. It stems from your family of origin and the things that your parents and things that happened to you growing up. Those things leave an imprint on the subconscious mind. It's the reason why children can have a experience with violence, for example, and suppress the memory, because the mind has not reached a place at a young age where it can process it, right? So the subconscious part of that child's mind will hold the memory but suppress it until a time in the future when that person grows up and they can actually do the work, the repair work to resolve it, okay? So I hope that answered your question about what the subconscious mind is and some of the things that it does. Okay, so we're going to go back now. So in order to start the process of reframing your old beliefs, we're going to go over 2 of the 3 R's that you need for change. And the first one is to reframe the old beliefs. So you have to know what the old beliefs are. You have to know, like, what is in the subconscious mind, right? What are the beliefs that you hold about whatever problems that you have, whether that's in relationship or in terms of money. And there are 2 ways that that you can figure out, like, what those things are that you're holding. It's the internal, like what's going on the inside, right? And then there's the external. What is actually showing up in your reality? What is your experience of the way that people treat you, or your experience of relationship, or your experiences with money, right? That's actually a really good place to start if you haven't done any subconscious work at all, or you don't know, or you're not sure about how to source what is happening internally. Just look at the external. What are the results that you have? That's a good clue to tell you what's going on the inside. If you always are living in a state of lack, that's a clue that, okay, if I have lack in my outer reality, what are the stories that I'm telling myself what's happening on the inside. Am I saying words like, oh, I'm always broke. I never have enough to, do the things that I want to do. Like, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? That's the internal, right? So you want to track those things. So yeah, if you've never done any subconscious work, look at the external results, and then and that'll give you a clue as to like what's going on internally. So that's the first thing that you want to do. And you want to jot all of those things down. And I would do this, for each area of life, but start with the one that's most pressing to you. Okay. There's some questions, so I'm going to take a pause here to answer your questions. Is it true that the subconscious is the feminine and the conscious is the masculine? Yes, that is true. The feminine rules the subconscious realm. Why is that? It is because women, by nature, and this isn't just a man-woman thing, but when we think about the feminine is the energy, and the feminine is the internal, it's the creative energy. And so in a body, typically that sorts out to be like, male and female. But as we know, as we are evolving as a species, you can embody more of one energy or the other. And we have people who are presenting as more feminine in male bodies. And so that's why I say it's not confined to a body. It's more about the energy that is in the person, right? But in terms of atomically, the woman has a womb, right? And the woman can cultivate the seed from a male person and grow another human. All of that happens internally, right? And then she becomes a portal that births a spirit, another human being with a spirit. This is all internal that this work happens. And that is why the feminine rules the internal, okay? It's a feminine energy, a feminine presence. If we go back and look at the example here about the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, which governs 10% of our brain power, is the analytical side. It's the side that thinks and plans. Those are very masculine energies. And I would add to that, think, plans, and takes action as well. Okay? All right, so the first step, there's another question. Is bad and depressed life affects when we grow? I don't understand the question. Can you reframe that? And what can you do on the subconscious mind to improve your breathing? So that I do understand that question. So if you can reframe the other one and help me out a little bit, I'll try to answer it for you. So on a subconscious level, to improve your breathing, what you can do on a conscious level that will impact the subconscious to improve breathing is doing breathing exercises. And I'm no expert in that, but there are specific breathing techniques that you can use that will help improve your life force, which is your breath. And you can train yourself to do those things. Okay? That is a conscious activity, but what happens is it moves energy through the body, like when you do breath work. Okay? So you need to think about like what specifically you need support with, and that will determine which type of breathing exercise you should do. So I would definitely research that, so that you can be practicing, the technique that's going to work best for you. And as for your second question, is bad and depressed life affects when we grow? I'm not quite sure what that means. So if you can rephrase that for me, I'm happy to try to answer for you. Okay? All right. So in this ritual, this is a releasing disempowering beliefs ritual. So part one is in order for you to reframe your old beliefs, you have to understand what the old beliefs are. And so we went through how you can identify your old beliefs. If you've never done subconscious work before, you want to start looking at the external, what's happening in your outer reality, and then track that back to, okay, this is the result that I have, whether that's like, not enough money, relationships that are failing, or work life out of balance. What do you have in the external? And then track that back to, okay, what are the thoughts that I think related to those external issues that I have? And that will give you a read on what's happening internally. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense for you. So then step two, once you have these internal and external thoughts and beliefs, once you've jotted those down, the next step is to rewrite those things. One by one, you want to reframe what was on the first page and do your best to rewrite or think about those previous beliefs that you sourced differently. You want to lean into more empowering thoughts and beliefs. Like, what's a better way to, hold on 1 second. My hair got caught. Y'all can't see me because I'm off camera, but, so I'll give you some examples here related to self-concept. That's something that we've talked a lot about in the love rehab, is rebuilding or strengthening our self-concept, the way that we think and feel about ourselves, the way that we love and care for ourselves, how committed we are to ourselves, how devoted we are to ourselves. And in doing those things, practicing that deep self-love, it creates an internal environment so that those things can show up in your external reality. And so when we think about what are some empowering thoughts and beliefs and how they may show up in the external, right? So internally, if you have the belief that, wait, I don't want to backtrack. Hold on. If internally you rewrite your belief about trust, for example, let's use that as an example. Let's say that you had a belief about, or you had thoughts and feelings about loyalty and trust as being an issue in your past. So how you might rewrite that for yourself would be to just say, I know how and when to rebuild trust with the right connections. Okay? I am fiercely and energetically protected. Those are things that you might think to yourself, right? So if you are able to lean into these more empowered beliefs, what that allows to happen is for things in your external reality start to change. So I'll give you a personal example. One of the things that I noticed over the past 6 months on my own healing journey is just about how I used to have this story, this disempowering belief that people don't show up for me when I need them to, right? And so I had to examine that and think about, well, if people aren't showing up for me, what are the ways that I don't show up for myself? How am I self-abandoning? Right? I had to do the internal work to figure out, like, okay, well, how can I expect other people to show up for me if I'm not showing up for myself? Right? And so I started to rewire that belief by being more supportive of myself and saying words of encouragement to myself, because I noticed, like, I wasn't showing up for myself. Okay, so why wasn't I showing up for myself? I wasn't showing up because I felt overwhelmed sometimes. I wasn't showing up because I didn't have my priorities set, so it was making it difficult. I wasn't showing up because I didn't often have the energy. And so one of the ways that I resolved that was to start doing the work to shift, to elevate my energy and to shift it into, to energize myself. So one of the ways that manifests externally is, I know I need to get out and have movement every day. That's going to shift my mood. That's going to have a snowball effect and enable me to come home and do work and show up for myself. So all of these things are connected. And so once you have figured out, like, what are the things that are holding you back, your limiting beliefs, the limiting belief that I had was people don't show up for me. Okay. So I had to disprove that, because that belief was disempowering. It wasn't serving me to believe that people don't show up for me. So I started doing digging and figured out that, okay, it's not just that people aren't showing up for me. I'm not showing up for myself. Why? And why is a very powerful question as well in this process, because the why in the mind, in the subconscious mind, creates an open loop. And what that means is that it'll just run off reasons to try to answer your why. It'll keep coming up with more things and more things, right? When you ask yourself why. And so I had to ask myself, why am I not showing up for myself? And myself gave myself the answer, because I kept digging. And so once I did that, I started to look at and reframe those beliefs. And I'm going to go back for a second, because I had to do both. I held on to these limiting thoughts and patterns and beliefs because I really had to sit with them for a while, right? I had to sit with them for a while, and you need to use them in order to rewrite what the new empowered thoughts and beliefs are. So, but as a part of the ritual, once you've figured out these parts and you've rewritten, the old disempowering thoughts and beliefs, and you've rewritten them to be centered on thoughts and beliefs that are more empowering for you, then you're going to go back to this first page, because this is a 2-page document. You're going to burn this paper under the light of the full moon. Tonight's a full moon, and this is free. You can get this for free if you go to my profile. It's the first document that people in my community get, because we do a lot of subconscious reprogramming work, and a part of that is to suss out, like, what are the things that are holding people back. And so this is often the first thing that we do together, is go through these beliefs and clear them out. And so the ritual is, once you have gotten all the toxic ones out, you're going to take the toxic paper, you're going to burn it. And because it's a full moon tonight and for the next 3 nights, you have time to do away with that energy. And also because it's Pisces season, you want to be doing you want to incorporate the element of water, right? So one of the ways that you can do that, once you burn this page here, you can flush it down the toilet. That would be the easiest way to get rid of it. Or you can take it to a stream or some other external water source that flows away from your home, because you want to flush, you want it to travel away from you, okay? So that's the water aspect of this ritual. So there's fire and water. All right. And so this is something that we probably won't go through tonight because it's getting a little bit late, and I'm a morning person now. That's one of the things that I have been telling myself over and over again. I flip the camera. But there are, once you've done this work to clear those old disempowering beliefs, once you've done that work, then you want to start the process of rewiring your mindset, your subconscious programming, and resetting it for success and to help you with your manifestations, okay? And I can go through the steps really quickly. I'm not going to go into detail on this live because this live is specifically about specifically about a ritual that you can do since it is the full moon to release and let some shit go, okay? So we went over that part, but there are 5 steps that you can do to rewire your mindset. This is the method that I teach in my book, Cultivating a Manifestation Mindset. And so the first step, once you've gotten rid of those disempowering beliefs, is to start setting an intention about what it is that you actually want to be creating, not what the program says, okay? Thank you for the rose. So sweet. Thank you for the gifts. So yeah, the first step to rewiring would be to start setting your intentions and thinking deeply about, well, you know, I know what I had in the past, but what do I desire for the future? And writing that down daily, okay? This is a daily process, and it only takes 10 minutes maybe in the morning or at night. So, and intentions are really dynamic and fluid, which is why I like them. And it really helps you to clarify your energy, and it plants a seed. And we're going to go through and do a deeper dive on this, and I'll probably do a workshop on it at the new moon, because that's the best time to like set intentions. And I like to set long-term intentions based on the new moons, because it helps me to track how long did it actually take for, you know, something specific to come into fruition if I do it by the moon cycle. And that's the way that nature rolls. And so that's part of our issue, is that we be misaligned with nature and trying to do things outside of the realm of or trying to do things without the support of the energy around us. We'd be working against ourselves and working too hard. So we want to use the energy that's available to us. And right now that energy is Pisces, because it is Pisces season, which rules the subconscious. So it's the perfect time for this reprogramming work. Okay. So step 1, set your intentions every day. And intentions can even be things that, you know, you plan to do for the day, and things that you wish or desire to happen. And I say wish, but what I really mean is desire, or intend to do, because a wish is just a wish. There's no plan of action behind it. An intention implies that there's a plan. All right. So you want to write down every day the things that are known and unknown to you. Like, you know, I intend to go to the farmer's market. I intend to work out today. I intend to sell 100 products on my website, that's an intention that, you know, may or may not happen for the day. But the importance is that it's coding the subconscious mind. It's sort of tricking it, but it's coding it to believe that, oh, okay, she did go to the farmer's market. She did go work out. Selling, 100 tickets to an event, that didn't happen, but I can help with that. It activates the reticular activating system in your brain to help your subconscious start to search for ways to make the intentions happen. Okay. So step 2 is beliefs. Now, you've already done some of this work when you did the disempowering beliefs, so this should be easy to do, but I like to every day think about, like, what is in my belief system? What are the things that I already have access to that I know about myself? What's the power that I know that I have existing? Not talking about the power that I need or that I'm building up, but how am I intrinsically already wired for success? And what do I know about myself that's going to help me on my path and on my journey today? Okay. So these are just, foundationally, like, things that are solid and based on your values and based on who you know and believe yourself to be already. Okay. What inner resources do you already possess that are going to assist you? Jot those down daily. Step 3 is the script, the actual script. And scripting is something that you're going to write in past tense. And the reason why is because, as we said earlier on the live, the subconscious mind, its desire is to allow you to manifest that which you feel safe in having. So by writing your script in the past tense, it leads the subconscious to believe that this is safe. It's safe because it's already happened. Even though you know consciously, it's not about conscious work, but you know consciously that you haven't manifested $1 million yet, right? But if you start scripting as though you have already manifested that, the subconscious is going to start letting down its barriers that it would otherwise put up to sabotage you on that path to manifesting $1 million, because it's going to start to feel safe and truly believe that that is possible for you. It opens up the energy of possibility, and it starts looking for ways that it can autopilot direct you to take action towards those things. It's a program. You have to start coding the subconscious to coding and programming it so that it on autopilot will start to direct the path. There's this researcher named Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and he uses the analogy of the autopilot and the subconscious mind being like an airplane that is set to go. Let's say your airplane is set to go to Alaska, right? But you want to go to LA. Consciously, you want to go to LA. But the subconscious program on your airplane of your life is going to take you to Alaska. So it doesn't matter what you say consciously, I want to do. That's not the program that the mind has. You're going to go to Alaska until you start doing the work to change the autopilot of your program, which is the subconscious mind. Okay? So that is why we script, because we want to give the subconscious mind the program that we want it to have, that you consciously know that you are desiring to attain. Okay? So that is why when we script every day, we script things as though they've already happened, acting as if, right? Using the law of assumption that this is already a reality, okay? And you want to also, again, similar to when you write your intentions, you want to set your knowns and unknowns, because it's important to have some things in the script that the subconscious can grasp on. You are going to actually do, right? You don't want to just put a bunch of stuff that is only your world of Delulu. And I got that word from the girls on TikTok. It like I'm living in Delulu. Like, you don't want to just fill your script with all your delusions. You want to have some bits of truth in there, because the subconscious is going to track that as well. That, like, okay, the example that I use in my book, Cultivating a Manifestation Mindset, is that imagine that you were a real estate agent, right? And this is in your script. As a real estate agent, you have a desired outcome to manifest some new clients, right? And you know for a fact that you're going to your cousin's wedding in the next 21 days, let's say. So your script that you would write would go something like this if you were going to script for that chunk of time. These past 21 days have been amazing. I was at my cousin's wedding reception, because that's something that's actually going to happen. You go into your cousin's wedding and started chatting with a really nice couple about the housing market. They said they were looking for a realtor, so we exchanged information, and now we've got some viewing appointments on the calendar next week. Boom. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between you thinking and talking and writing about something that has happened in the past. Therefore, it finds it easier to accept new thoughts and ideas when you tell it or you write it like that. It makes no distinction, okay? And doing this daily reinforces the patterns of thoughts and behaviors that your unconscious will begin to accept as your natural way of being, and massages the energy to bring about more of that, okay? So that is step 3. Writing it as if it's already done. Step 4 is at the end of the night, at the end of the day, you want to jot down what proof of magic, what is the evidence that popped into your reality after you've set your intentions earlier in the day and you scripted and you wrote your beliefs. What actually happened? And the reason why you want to do that is because, like I said, your brain has a reticular activating system. So it's always going to be looking for opportunities to bring you closer to what you've set your sights on, right? Subconsciously. And so you want to notice, Abraham Hicks calls this the grid filling in. You want to notice the evidence of your manifestations coming into fruition, right? Because a lot of times we are too focused on what's not happening, what's not present, and not enough focused on, okay, well, this small thing happened. That is a sign that what I want is on its way. So you're going to jot down and keep track of those little breadcrumbs, those little signs that let you know that what you're looking for, what you're desiring to manifest, is on the way. We call this proof of magic, okay? Because the more that you can notice the small, subtle things, those small, subtle things will become big things and eventually pop into your reality as a full-blown manifestation. And I have a video, it's not pinned anymore, but I have a video about one of the mistakes in manifesting that people make sometimes is mistaking the small things, the evidence of the manifestation, as the full thing, the full manifestation. There is a difference, right? One of the teachers of, the law of assumption, Neville Goddard, tells his story about how he wanted to go home to Barbados to visit his family. And his teacher, many people don't know this, but he had a teacher who was a black rabbi. This is back in, when was Neville Goddard alive? This is like the 40s maybe. But he had a black mentor and teacher, spiritual teacher named Muhammad. And so he told Muhammad of his desire to want to go visit his family, but he was like, I don't have the money to do it. And so Muhammad basically taught him the law of assumption and how to feel as though he was already in Barbados. And excitedly, he was doing that practice every night, and he received a telegram, he said, from his brother, who was like, hey, so I want to get the family together for the holiday, so I'm going to send you a ticket to come to Barbados. And Neville Goddard was so excited, he went to his teacher, Muhammad, and told him what happened. And however, the ticket wasn't like a regular ticket. It was like a cargo ticket or something that he was able to get. And he was excited about it because he's like, in his mind, I'm going to Barbados, you know, I'm on my way. But his teacher was like, no, like, you are a powerful creator. We don't travel with the cargo. You need to focus your energy on going first class all the way, and don't come back until you've done it, basically. And so, long story short, he gets to the port to get on his boat, and a space became available for him to travel in a better class. I don't remember if it was first class or not. And you can, I ain't making this up, this is a story from Neville Goddard himself. Get on YouTube and look it up. Neville Goddard goes to Barbados. This is in his own words, that he got there and somehow or another a better, I don't know if it was first class, I don't remember, but a better ticket was available for him. And he had an enjoyable trip to go visit his family. So saying that to say that him just getting a regular old cargo ticket, that was the evidence that the manifestation, it was coming, it was on its way in. The full manifestation was him getting the first class ticket and getting there, you know, and having a better experience on his way, because nobody wants to ride in the bows of the ship, right? That's the worst part of the ship to be in. Okay, so that is why we want to track our proof of magic and our evidence, but we also don't want to get too enamored with and stop massaging the energy just because we see the evidence of it. The evidence is to encourage us to continue to work with the energy until we get a full-blown manifestation. Okay? All right. So the last part of this is hypnotherapy. Now, you're going to be doing the scripting every day. Hypnotherapy is something that is a seemingly idle process, because you really shouldn't have to take a lot of time out of your day or night to do it, because the best time to work and listen to your hypnotherapy tracks is in the morning when you first wake up, and at night as you're going to sleep. And you're going to do those two things every single day. So it's not even something that you need to make time for. It's just something that you need to put into place. And that I do have a tutorial for, on how to take a hypnosis track. You can find them on YouTube. I have some available as a part of for my community members. One is specifically about abundance. It actually comes with this book of mine, Cultivating a Manifestation Mindset. It's an abundance hypnosis. I also have one for rewriting your self-love blueprint so that you can attract a soulmate, and more are coming all the time. But you want to listen to that hypnotherapy track in the morning when you wake up, and you can literally download it as an MP4 and save it if you have an iPhone. I don't know about you Android people, but save it to your iTunes library and it'll sync to your phone. And then you open up your alarm and you pick a song, which is going to be the hypnosis, and set that as your alarm so that it will play as you are waking up in the morning. So because that is when your brain is moving out of theta, which is sleep. Delta is deep sleep. Then there's theta, and then there's alpha. So your brain is moving from from theta frequency into alpha, which is wakefulness. And that is when your subconscious it's wide open, okay? The conscious mind has its guard down, and the subconscious is wide open to accept new programming. So you want to listen when you wake up, and then before you go to sleep, just hit play and listen to your hypnosis as you are falling asleep. Because the brain, again, it's leaving its conscious awareness and getting ready to slip into theta. It's slowing down and going from alpha. That's the state like right before you wake up and right before you go to sleep. It's going from alpha, then it's going to dip into theta, and then if you really getting good sleep, it's going to go to delta. It's a cycle, okay? So that's the best time to listen to your hypnotherapy, your hypnosis, because hypnosis, there's a lot of benefits to it. It helps with trauma resolution, reprogramming, old beliefs, clearing things out. It leads to an increased sense of awareness, less anxiety. I know for one, when I wake up in the morning, like if I don't play my hypnosis, there was a couple of days that there was something weird like going on with the way that I had set it up or how it was playing. I don't think it was like playing all the way through. And I would notice that I would wake up and I would have to do the work to encourage myself to get out of the bed. When I have my hypnosis in the morning, that never happens. Like I wake up already ready to go and already focused, because I listen to my abundance and success hypnosis in the morning, and at night I listen to a hypnosis that is specifically for self-love, self-concept, and attracting better relationships. So I have two programs that are going on at two different times. Self-love, self-concept as I'm going to sleep, and as I'm waking up, because it is my intention to take action during the day, to work on my business. I'm listening to the hypnosis that is about abundance, right, in the morning. So that is it for tonight. We did end up going through some of the rewiring. I didn't intend to do that. This is really just a live so that we could talk through a ritual for the full moon, which we did. I hope that you got a lot of value from it. And if you want the Releasing Disempowering Beliefs download, you can go to my profile to get that. You're welcome, Heather. Thank you for watching. Yeah, so you can go to the profile, my profile so that you can get your free download. It's the very first thing that I send out to people who are new on my list, because it works in tandem, with the rewiring, rewiring of the subconscious mind. You have to clear stuff out first. You got to make room, make space, because otherwise what will happen is you'll be on your way, doing your thing down the road, and then an old program, it'll catch up to you and self-sabotage all your good progress. So that's why you want to be doing the work to clear out clear that old energy out, clear those old beliefs out, clear that outdated program from, you got growing up about relationship or money. Clear that old stuff out that's not serving you no more. It's like having a computer and never doing your updates to your computer or your phone. It's not going to run right. Your phone's not going to act right if you don't do your updates. That's what subconscious reprogramming is. That's a part of what you have to do in order to run your energy in a way that best serves you and benefits you. Okay? Got to do the reprogramming and the rewiring work. And the first step to that It's clearing the old stuff out, getting the old programming out, getting out the bugs, you know. This is why, like, if you go in the App Store, if you don't have your phone set on auto update, it'll tell you, like, you know, such and such app needs to be updated. And, you know, in the update, it fixed certain bugs and certain hiccups in the app. That's what this work does. It gets the bugs out, get the kinks out, so that things can run smoothly in your life. So that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. If you came in late, it's okay. This replay is going to be available on YouTube, and I will be sending out the replay to the people in my community. So if you want to join, that is open and available for you. We're going to be talking more about self-concept work as we're getting close to the spring equinox or the spring solstice, and how to revitalize ourselves after this long winter. Astrologically speaking, March is the new year, contrary to our social and societal conditioning and beliefs. According to nature, March is the new year. That's when things are blooming and moving and happening and coming alive. So if you have struggled to, you know, get your year going, I encourage you to come be a part of the community. We're going to be doing some spring renewal work to help us make the most of the energy that's going to be available to us in the spring to propel ourselves forward, because we have been doing, you know, the subconscious work, of course, during the winter season. We've been in the background, and now it's time to step up to the front. So if you're wanting to do that, I definitely encourage you to stay close and join the community. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you again for joining the live. If you don't want to ask questions here, you can always go and check out like some of my old videos and leave a question in the comments. I try to make reply videos to those questions that people have. I keep a running list of the most commonly asked questions, and so I'll be using your comments in order to create content to answer your specific questions. So I encourage you to do that as well. That's another way to interact and get your questions answered. All right. Thank you all. Enjoy your full moon. Make sure you are letting some stuff go. Get your Releasing Disempowering Beliefs download, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night. Bye.